Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Vyasam vasishta-naptAram Shaktre Pautram-akalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Suka-tAtam tapo-nidhim Vyasaya vishNu-rUpAya vyAsa-rUpAya Vishnave Namo vai Brahma-nidhaye vasishta-ya namo namaha. Om Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim chaiva tato jayam udhiraye. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahabharata, in most people's minds, evokes war, images of war, gory war, with a lot of bloodshed between the cousins Kauravas and Pandavas. But interestingly, no Parva in the Mahabharata has been named as Yudha Parva by Rishi Vyasa. So no Yudha Parva. So now the Vanavasa is over. 12 years of living in forest, 1 year living incognito, undiscovered by the world, and the Pandavas has successfully completed this 13-year period of exile just because of Yudhishthira giving us word. So now they have successfully come out of the 13-year exile period. And it's time for Duryodhana to return back the kingdom that he has usurped. He argues with his elders, Bhishma, that Arjuna revealed himself before the time was over. But Bhishma calculates and finds that a long time back, the Vanavasa and the 13-year exile period was over. Still, just to be sure, they had remained hidden. And hence, they have comfortably completed the 13-year period of exile. Duryodhana does not like this. He does not want to let go of the land, not just for the land itself, but because his enemies, the Pandavas, will again come to power, and he knows them. So they deliberate in their council, and the preparations for war begin, the Udyoga Parva, the preparations for war. Dhritarashtra says, Yudhishthira is large-hearted. Let him not covet this wealth. Now, for 13 years, he has been in forest. If he had been a Kshatriya, a true warrior, he would have attacked then and there and finished it off. But he's been like a Rishi, a Brahmana, so docile. He's not fit to rule the kingdom. Let him be happy in a forest, is what Dhritarashtra advises, and sends Sanjaya, his charioteer, as a Duta, messenger. By now, after Putra's marriage with Abhimanyu and all the supporters of Yudhishthira are assembled in Upaplavya. So Sanjaya reaches there and bows down to everybody assembled and tells Yudhishthira in no uncertain terms what Dhritarashtra mentioned. He further adds what he has to. As an elder who has seen the Pandavas grow up as children, everybody is disappointed at Sanjaya's speech, and especially at Dhritarashtra, because Yudhishthira was hoping that at least Dhritarashtra would have some sense. He would curtail his son Duryodhana, because they have completed the period of exile. What more do you want? You have enjoyed the kingdom for 13 years. What more do you want? There in Upaplavya, Balarama says something similar. He tells Yudhishthira, let go of the kingdom. Be happy with what you have. And let them rightfully enjoy their kingdom. For which Sini's grandson Satyaki is extremely angry and rebukes Balarama in front of everybody. And others also join in the rebuke. Everybody gets angry because justice has to be dealt with, meted out to Duryodhana. Balarama has a soft corner for Duryodhana because he is Duryodhana is his favorite pupil. But he is rebuked and he remains silent. Sanjaya goes back and Yudhishthira begs of Bhagavan Shri Krishna to go as messenger of peace. Dhritarashtra is not so very happy with Sanjaya's return. He was hoping to somehow silence Yudhishthira, but he had not expected that it would not be the same Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira has grown in all these 13 years with the tough Vanavasa life and encounter with so many rishis. He has learned so much and he is now clear as to what his dharma is. It's war, if it comes to that. Peace on our terms. That is, Duryodhana should return back the kingdom, which is lawfully ours. Otherwise, it's war. Dhritarashtra had expected it would not be so, because he had still had the image of the past Yudhishthira, who silently, who mutedly just gave up the kingdom and left for Vanavasa and prevented everybody else from attacking then and there for something that the whole world recognized as unlawful, adharma. But now Yudhishthira is a transformed person with his rich experiences had in the forest life, and hence the forest life has been extremely beneficial, very, very required to mature Yudhishthira and his other brothers. So Dhritarashtra seeks the counsel of Vidura. Vidura says does not mince words. He says in no uncertain terms, what you have done is wrong and foolish. The words used during the game of dice, every word is now going to come back to you and strike the hearts of your sons, and they are going to be dead in no time. The Pandavas are extremely powerful. Dhritarashtra would not like to hear such a thing at such a time. But Vidura is Dharmaraja's Amsha, Yama's Amsha. He is justice embodied. And hence, he speaks his mind. Dhritarashtra somehow finds solace in Vidura's words. He further seeks the counsel of Vidura, for which Vidura says, I am a Shudra, and hence I cannot give you counsel beyond this. I can give you counsel on political affairs. To know the Atman, to know about death and all these, let us invoke Sanat Sujata, the ever young, eternal Rishi. Dhritarashtra is amazed. Is it possible for me to view him with this body, which has not undergone sufficient tapas? Because to view such great beings, for example, if we have to invoke Vyasa Maharishi and view him, our body should have undergone tremendous tapas. Otherwise, it will not have the capability, the energy to withstand the energy of Vyasa, if he appears here now. He's there in subtle form, no doubt, but embodied form, in order to view it, it's not a very trivial thing. But on Vidura's invoking Sanat Sujata, the great Rishi appears there and blesses both of them. And when he's comfortably taken care of, he discourses to Dhritarashtra on various aspects. It's very interesting to study that. I really hope you do study that. It will clarify so many aspects. For example, he talks about death, how there is nothing called death. Death is a myth, just concocted up. There is nothing called death. There is only life. So it's very interesting to study the Sanat Sujata Parva or Sanat Sujatiya Parva. Even after that, Dhritarashtra does not have the spine, the guts to actually go against his son's wishes, Duryodhana's wishes. So he yields to Duryodhana. So the preparations for war already begin, because Yudhishthira can sense from the message of Sanjaya, message of Dhritarashtra sent through Sanjaya, what the mood is in the Kaurava camp. They are in no mood to let go of the kingdom. They have enjoyed the kingdom and the riches for too long a period. Now the only course left is war. But Yudhishthira is a sane man. So he requests Bhagavan Shri Krishna to go represent their case, invoke the sentiments, the pure sentiments of the people in the court of Dhritarashtra. Talk to them about justice, dharma, and make them relent. Make them give back the kingdom of Indraprastha. If not Indraprastha, just 5 villages. On hearing this, everybody is up and angry at Yudhishthira. What? 5 villages after all this? What are you talking about? Are you out of your mind? But Yudhishthira is a very deep person. He sees deep into the future, and he knows what tragedy the war would bring. An elimination of the entire Kshatriya race all over the world, because everybody would participate in the war, would be polarized and would kill each other. And the victor, it would be an empty victory. It would not be a sweet victory. It would be an empty victory. Because then there would be nobody to rule over. Without praja, without people, what is there to rule over? He sees all this, and hence he requests Bhagavan Shri Krishna to represent this. If not the kingdom, at least 5 villages. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna, at an auspicious time, goes to Hastinapura as a messenger of peace, because he feels he should do everything possible so that he is not blamed later that even Shri Krishna himself, who could have done everything to avoid the war, did not do anything. But Shri Krishna is clear, Duryodhana has not come to his senses. So he goes there. Duryodhana invites him to his palace. He does not go there. Bhishma wants to entertain him. He does not agree to Bhishma's request. Drona, no. He goes to Vidura, Vidura's place. Because Vidura is the only true human left in Hastinapura. Others lost on the side of adharma. Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, all of them were mute, did not say a word when Draupadi was harassed. The Pandavas were sent in exile, which was clearly adharma. The elders did not do anything, and hence Krishna wants nothing to do with them. So he goes to Vidura's place. He seeks the blessings of Kunti. And Kunti, after a long time, because all the while she's been at Vidura's place in Hastinapura, while her sons and daughter-in-law were in exile. So she inquires after their welfare. And Krishna says everything is alright and everything will be okay. Don't you worry. To his aunt, Kunti. And they have deep discussions, Vidura and Krishna, into the night, late into the night. And it's wonderful to see the love and bhakti that Vidura has for Shri Krishna. The love and bhakti of so many devotees they have for Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And at the same time, the hatred and anger that he evokes in those who do not know the truth behind this avatara. The question is of ignorance and knowledge. Those people who are ignorant of the truth of the avatara see him as an enemy, as a boastful person. Those who know beyond this, who have knowledge, who are lit up with the light of knowledge, bow down at his feet, are devotees. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna reaches Hastinapura. In the court, all the rishis are present, Narada including. They have come there to witness what Shri Krishna is going to say, what the Lord himself is going to speak in this occasion. Krishna is known as the sweet-speeched one, not Durvasa. Durvasa is foul-speeched, still a rishi. So you can be a foul-speeched one or a sweet-speeched one and still be dharmic. We find so many managers who are very good but foul-speeched. There are very few managers who are sweet-speeched. There is something to learn from Shri Krishna. He was sweet-speeched, even in anger. Let's see. That's so very interesting to look at. So in Hastinapura, in the court of Dhritarashtra, he tries to evoke the appropriate sentiments. He uses the strategy of Sama, Dana, Beda, Danda. Sama is you explain and try to win them over. Dana is you try to gift them. See, if there is no war, Yudhishthira will anyhow treat Dhritarashtra, you, as the king. He will be at your feet, at the beck and call of, why do you want to have war? There is a win-win situation. Dana. Then he tries to create conflict within themselves. Bheda. He tries to invoke the subtler sentiments of the elders. He says, Bhishma, Drona, you are all so very mature in ages. This Duryodhana is nobody at all. Why do you listen to him? The Pandavas are equal in your vision. They are your grandchildren, and so are these Kauravas. Why are you partial? And so on. He uses superb logic to create Bheda. To no avail. Because Bhishma, Drona and all these have eaten the salt of Duryodhana, or so they think. And hence they feel they are duty bound. They think that's their dharma. They forget the larger dharma. They are lost. They are narrow-minded in their vision of dharma. and they feel obliged to fight on the part of Kauravas. And it is also said that who you associate with, if you associate with someone negative for a long period of time, you also become negative. Your idea of dharma is clouded. And that happens with such great beings like Bhishma, Drona, Kripa. With long association with Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they have become clouded in their understanding of dharma. What a sad plight. This can happen to even great beings. So Sri Krishna tries to invoke all sentiments, but to no avail. Then he says firmly, Nanda. He says, if you come to fight, Arjuna has gotten celestial weapons. Nobody can defeat him. All the Pandavas, they will defeat you, they will crush you. This invokes fear in Dhritarashtra, but Duryodhana does not care. In fact, Duryodhana, Karna, they plan to imprison Karna, Krishna. And Krishna at that time reveals his vishNu-rUpAya, his form beyond forms. And everybody is blinded. Only Bhishma, Drona, the rishis are able to see that form because of their austerity and penance, tapasya. And then Sri Krishna, along with Satyaki, ride away. En route, Sri Krishna approaches Karna and he reveals to Karna who he truly is. He says, you are Kunti Putra, and Kunti had to give you up. But you are the eldest of the Pandavas. You just come over and Yudhishthira and the other Pandavas will serve you, will be your servants, will take the dust off your feet. And you can be monarch of the entire world. That will also cause peace. Because Duryodhana is close to you, and so are the Pandavas. Let there be no war. But Karna, he says, no, that cannot be. What I am today is because of Duryodhana. He has given me everything that I am today. Kunti did not come to me when I needed her. You did not come to me when I needed you. So I cannot ditch my friend when he is in need. That shows the wonderful spirit of Karna, who knows all the Vedas, who is Surya Putra, and hence refined in his qualities, is subtle in his perception. Further, Kunti Devi actually approaches Karna. Karna has taken this vow, we have already seen, and he prays to Lord Surya, his Ishta Devata. By midday, after his prayer is over, whoever is there, whatever they ask, he gives them. So Kunti Devi approaches Karna at this hour, waits for him to complete his prayers, and then tells him who he is and who she is. You are my son. You are the eldest of the Pandavas. Please come over. Karna is firm and harsh. All this while, he has had dreams of Kunti Devi, but not the face. Every time he would be in so much pain, thinking of who his mother is, what his bloodline is, because he is not a charioteer, but the world calls him Sutaputra. He is clear, he is a Kshatriya, but he does not know his lineage. Without your lineage, you are a nobody. Nobody accepts you. It's a tragedy. And hence bitterness enters his heart. He tries to learn weapons, but nobody would teach him. Even Drona rejects. when he approaches Dronacharya to learn the Brahmastra, Drona rejects. Finally, he goes to Parashurama, the Bhargava Rama, learns from him everything. But when Bhargava Rama discovers that he's not a Brahmana, he's cursed. Karna is cursed that when you need these weapons most, because out of your greed for acquiring the knowledge of these weapons, you lied to me. And hence, when you need them most, the weapons will fail you. You will not remember the mantras to invoke them. Now, these astras are very different from the astras that we use now, the weapons we use now. These are automatic, objective. But the astras mentioned in the Mahabharata are not just objective. They are subjective, including the objective. So these are very different weapons, very potent weapons. And we cannot compare the current weapons with these, because the current weapons are just objective. Anybody can use them. But these astras, especially the Devastras, Brahmastra and the like, cannot be used by anybody. You need extreme tapas to be able to even become capable to qualify for that weapon. Otherwise, the weapon will not choose you. That's a very interesting concept. One needs to think about it deeply. So it happens, he is cursed and further cursed by a Brahmana when he is out hunting, and he kills the Brahmana's yajna cow, the cow whose products are used for the by the Brahmana for his yajna, for his Agnihotra daily. And he is cursed that when you are stuck, you will be killed by your opponent, by the enemy you want to finish off. With these curses on his head, still Duryodhana has made him king of Anga. And hence, when Kunti reveals to him, he's already heard it from Sri Krishna. So he's sad, but he cannot defect to the enemy camp, because the Pandavas are his enemy, because they are Duryodhana's enemy. So Kunti asks of him a boon, because he will not reject it. He says, let my sons live. And Karna says further, at the end of the war, you will have 5 sons. I will not kill anybody else but Arjuna. I will kill Arjuna because I have taken an oath to that effect. A Kshatriya cannot go back on his oath. I will either kill him or be killed by him. At the end of it, anyhow, you will have 5 sons. So be at peace and leave. Karna's life. For most people, their life is bittersweet. They have experiences up and down. But Karna's life is a huge tragedy. It also happens that he has his Kavacha Kundala. And Indra decides that with his Kavacha and Kundala, Arjuna can never hope to defeat him. So he decides to beg of Karna his Kavacha and Kundala. Suryadeva appears in the dream of Karna before this and tells him that this Brahmana is Indra himself, Devendra, who has come to beg of you your Kavacha and Kundala. Don't give them. But Karna has made up his mind that whoever approaches for whatever reasons, he has taken an oath that he will give it. And he large-heartedly donates his Kavacha and Kundala. In fact, that's the reason why he is called Karna. He cuts off and gives. Karna. And in turn, he seeks of Indra his Shakti, his ultimate weapon. his powerful weapon, Shakti. Indra says, you can use it but once. After that, it will return back to me. So Karna preserves it for use against Arjuna. Karna's life is worth looking at very deeply, because many people wallow in self-pity and become extremely bitter against the world. Though they have learning, they have knowledge, they have all the other qualities, but because of this bitterness and self-pity, they get into the wrong line of action and thought. And that's the life of Karna. So though he is a Dana Prabhu, even now he is remembered as a Dana Prabhu, one who gives anything and everything. But still, because of this bitterness, everything turns against him. Now various rishis visit both Duryodhana's camp and the Pandavas' camp. Now Krishna has gone there, has not been successful in his mission of peace. In fact, Duryodhana has clearly said, I will not give a needle point of land. Let there be war. If at all you want your kingdom, you fight and have it. So now it's clear, and hence preparations for war are galore. So Shalya, the maternal uncle of Nakula and Sahadeva, brings his Akshauhini of warriors to join Yudhishthira's camp. En route, he is served so wonderfully well, because the march of an army is very difficult. They have to go through rough lands with no facilities. But en route, they are so very well taken care of. And Shalya is clear in his mind that this should be the work of Yudhishthira, that he gives his word. Whoever has done this, I will fight for them. And Duryodhana appears in front of him in all humility. He says, Nane, Nane. I am the one who has done all this. And Shalya has given his word. Now he cannot retract it, retrace his steps. So he says, Duryodhana, I will fight for you. But let me go to Yudhishthira and tell him what has happened. So he goes there, and Duryodhana is clear that once Shalya has given his words, he would not go back. He is an awesome warrior. So he tells Yudhishthira what has happened, and Yudhishthira begs of him a boon. He asks that when you become the charioteer of Karna, and you will become that, you should abuse him, because it's too good. If he fights in his true form against Arjuna, Arjuna is likely to be defeated. So you should abuse him, you should make him psychologically weak. And Shalya agrees. And then he marches to Duryodhana's camp. So huge preparations happening. The Pandavas decide to officially seek Krishna's help. By this time, Krishna is already in Dwaraka. And Arjuna starts out. Duryodhana hears of it and reaches earlier than Arjuna. And Krishna is resting. So Duryodhana goes and sits beside Sri Krishna's head. And Arjuna goes and patiently stands in all humility, bowing down at the feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna opens his eyes and sees Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, what is it that you want? Duryodhana, I have come here before Arjuna. And whoever has come first, Krishna, you should support them in war. Krishna says, you are the elder one. Arjuna is younger. And I saw him first. So let Arjuna ask, then I will come to you. He says clearly, you have me on one side, not fighting. but my support will be there. On another side, you have one Akshauhini of my Narayana warriors, Narayana Sena. Awesome warriors, very powerful. Which do you prefer? Arjuna immediately says, Krishna, your presence is what is required. I am capable of handling the army myself. I don't need anybody's help in eliminating these people. So you don't need to fight. I just want your blessings. I just want you to be my Saradi. And that's how Krishna becomes Partha Saradi. Partha is Pritha's son, Arjuna. Pritha is Kunti. Pritha's son, Partha, Arjuna. Saradi, charioteer, Partha Saradi. Duryodhana is very happy and relaxes in his heart of hearts. Because of unfighting, non-fighting Krishna, what use would he be? He has one Akshauhini strong warriors. And he happily returns back to Hastinapura. There he is abused by Shakuni and others. What? You let off Krishna? Oh. Before getting back from Dwaraka, Duryodhana also approaches Balarama to seek his help. Balarama says, where Shri Krishna is, I am there. I cannot fight against Shri Krishna. So I am not going to participate in this war. And he decides to go on a Tirtha Yatra. Duryodhana wins the support of Kritavarma. And Satyaki is on the side of the Pandavas, because Satyaki is also Arjuna's student. So all these preparations for war are happening, various messengers being sent out. By now, after the 13-year exile period, Yudhishthira is not so very famous. Duryodhana is now considered monarch. So many kings side along the line of Duryodhana because he is considered monarch. Yudhishthira, if he had attacked Duryodhana right after the game of dice, he would have won the support of the entire world, all the kings in the world. But after this 13-year exile period, because at that time he had finished the Rajasuya Yajna and was considered the monarch of the world. But now so many years have passed, and hence he is able to win over to his side 7 Akshauhinis of warriors. While the Kauravas, Duryodhana, is able to win over to their side 11 Akshauhinis of warriors. Overall, 18 Akshauhinis of warriors participate in the war. Rukmi, the brother of Rukmini, Rukmini is the wife of Shri Krishna, approaches Arjuna and the Pandava camp with 1 Akshauhini of warriors, proud and overbearing, haughty, arrogant. He tells Arjuna, hey Arjuna, don't worry, I am there. I will single-handedly crush these Kauravas, don't you worry. And this he says in front of the entire Sabha. Arjuna is furious. I don't need your support. You get lost. And Rukmi cannot understand this. So he goes to Duryodhana, the proud Duryodhana, and similarly offers support. Duryodhana again sends him out. I don't need your support. So even when we offer support, it has to be done appropriately. Rukmi does not understand this. So Rukmi and Balarama are the ones who do not participate in the war. Everyone else is there. The various rishis try to dissuade Duryodhana, try to also talk to Yudhishthira to somehow make peace. Narada Muni, in fact, tells the stories of how arrogance causes downfall. The story of Rishi Galava, who was not arrogant, but who was obstinate. So Galava Rishi was the disciple of Vishwamitra, the great Vishwamitra. After his stay with Vishwamitra, so he asks Vishwamitra what Guru Dakshina he has to give. Vishwamitra says, don't worry, let us be friends forever. You proceed on your way. I have taught you what I have to teach you. Galava insists again and again, and finally Vishwamitra is irritated and he asks for a very, very specific breed of horses. Galava roams the entire world but cannot find those horses, and with the help of Garuda, he roams the entire world. And now he is clueless because he has to satisfy his guru's request. He was obstinate in that I will give you Guru Dakshina. Now Vishwamitra is an awesome Rishi. So Galava cannot present himself before Vishwamitra saying, sorry, I cannot, because he has insisted. While Vishwamitra had said, don't worry about Guru Dakshina. Your love for me is the Guru Dakshina. But Galava would not understand that. In his obstinacy, he is now in a fix. He does not know what to do. He does immense tapas, and from a king, he goes to various kingdoms. He asks for such a Dakshina to be given as Guru Dakshina to his Guru. But nobody seems to have it. And finally one king says, I have my daughter Madhavi. You can take her. And he takes Madhavi along with him and goes to one king. That king, for having a son with Madhavi, he gives a certain portion of the steeds that he has, the horses which meet the specifications of Rishi Vishwamitra. But that does not add up to the number that Rishi Vishwamitra wanted. And hence, again, after a child is born, Madhavi is taken to another king, and so on to 3 kings in line. And finally, Rishi Galava has the number of steeds, horses of that specific breed to be given as Guru Dakshina to Rishi Vishwamitra. And he submits it, and he resolves within himself that he will not be obstinate from then on. So the Rishis explain that one should not be obstinate. One should know when to let go. One should know when to hold on. Various experiences happen. We hold on to those experiences, clinging on to them, and what is sweet become bitter. So even sweet experiences, if we hold on to them, they turn bitter. Just as a fruit, a mature, ripe fruit is let go of by the tree, because it would be harmful otherwise for the tree if it held on to the sweet fruit. Likewise, we need to learn that the quality of obstinacy, the quality of holding on when we should let go, is not good. So the Rishis teach us that. And interestingly, Galava Maharishi is a great Rishi himself. I'm in Coimbatore, and nearby we have a temple of Perur. Perur Patishwara temple is about 2000 years old. Behind that temple is an older temple which is supposed to be at least 5000 years old. But most people do not know of this. You will not find this in the map. This is called the Arasa Ambalavanar Kovil. So there, the linga there is supposed to have, the pratishtha is supposed to have been done by Galava Maharishi, Rishi Galava. So that's interesting. And it's a powerful place. You can see that. If you visit there, you will be hit by the energy of that place. So, Galav Maharishi for you. The sons that Madhavi gave birth to. Madhavi is the daughter of Yayati. So Yayati is an awesome king. And then he reaches heaven. There, once when Indra questions him as to whether he sees anybody equal to himself, he asks Yayati, do you see anybody your equal here in tapas? Yayati proudly, arrogantly, remarks that there is nobody equal to him. He does not see anybody equal to him. And hence, he loses his merit, his punya, because of his arrogance. He is clouded with ignorance, with his ego, and hence he falls from heaven. And the sons of Madhavi actually, the dialogue is beautiful. So he is sent back to earth to learn his lessons. And finally, Yayati again ascends to heaven. So that episode is very interesting. So likewise, the rishis also try to bring about peace, but to no avail. So it's decided it's going to be war. Uluka, the son of Shakuni, the gambler's son, is sent as a messenger to the Pandava camp. By now, along Kurukshetra, the Pandavas and Kauravas have aligned themselves, arrayed themselves for war. 11 Akshauhinis on the Kaurava front, Pandavas 7 Akshauhinis of warriors. And Uluka goes as an envoy, not of peace, but of war, and use harsh words against the Pandavas. This further infuriates the Pandavas. He should have stopped. He is asked to go away, but still he continues. And hence, the Pandavas again reaffirm their oath. Arjuna says, I will eliminate Karna. Bhima says, I will eliminate all the Kauravas. Duryodhana especially. And Dushasana, I will drink his blood. Nakula, Sahadeva say, Shakuni will die at my hands. Uluka, you will die at my hands. And that's how the oaths are reaffirmed. And Uluka goes back frightened. He narrates all this there. And Dhritarashtra is tremendously worried. Duryodhana also is worried. So he asks Bhishma. Bhishma is made the commander-in-chief of the army. He asks Bhishma to take a look at the army and decide how they should prepare for war, what the strategy should be. And Bhishma says, he looks at the Atirathas, Ratha, and he makes so many classifications. Duryodhana fully relies on Bhishma because he knows Bhishma's awesome prowess, how he even defeated Parashurama himself. Bhishma says, I cannot be defeated in war, but I will not fight against one person, and that is Shikandhan. And Shikandhan, who is the daughter turned son of Drupada. Shikandhan was in his previous life Amba, who was carried away by Bhishma when she was about to marry Shalva. Ambika and Ambalika are married to Vichitravirya, but Amba refuses, and hence she is sent back. Shalva refuses Amba, and she has nowhere to go. She comes back to Bhishma, and Bhishma refuses to marry her. In the prime of her youth, she is rejected by the world, and she does immense tapas, pleasing Shankara. And Shankara gives her a boon. that she will be able to defeat Bhishma. She will be the cause of the death of Bhishma. And hence now she is born as Shikandan. So Bhishma says, if Shikandan is in front of me, I will not fight with him, because he is a woman turned man. And hence Duryodhana asks all of the warriors to prevent Shikandan from approaching Bhishma. Bhishma, in looking at the army, rebukes Karna severely in front of all the warriors. And hence Karna takes a vow that as long as Bhishma is there, he will not fight. Once Bhishma falls, Karna will enter the fight. And it's so decided. So the preparations for war are done. It's frantic, and the atmosphere is electric and charged up. Both the camps are itching because they have trained their entire lives for war. And this ends the Udyoga Parva. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.